Hello and welcome to Real Girl Puberty. I'm Gozaydin, puberty survivor turned puberty ally. And I'm on a mission to help moms and girls thrive through puberty. On the last episode, we talked about the starting point of your girl's transition to womanhood. If you missed it, I'll leave a link so you can check it out. On this episode, we're skipping through to the last hurrah of puberty, the grand finale. Periods. Your daughter's body will still continue to develop and change as she grows through her teenage years, but periods are the final step in a girl's body to becoming physically able to bear children, which is kind of the whole point of puberty. Periods are a common stressor for puberty girls. I did a poll a while back asking girls what was the most stressful part of puberty for them, and periods came back as almost a unanimous stressor. There are so many different reasons for periods to be a cause of stress. I've already shared my story a little when it came to periods in sports, but that's just a small part of the picture. I got my period just after I turned 11 years old, and it has caused me stress every single month for the last 30 plus years. And I will tell you, when I got my first period, I was nowhere near prepared for it. It was 4th of July weekend. I was with my aunts at somebody's pool party. I don't even know who. I didn't tell anybody. I actually didn't tell anybody I got my first period probably until about 5 years ago. While it eventually became obvious, it wasn't something that I had ever talked about. As an adult now, I'm pretty good at managing the stress, but that was not the case when I was a tween and a teenager. Why are periods so stressful? Periods can be stressful for a number of reasons. Partly because even when we track our periods, and if you can get your daughter to do that, they can still throw us curveballs and surprises. Maybe they show up early one month, or a no-show the next, or the flow is always drastically different. These are really common experiences, and especially for new menstruators, it's hard to get familiar with your flow and to understand how your period is working. Periods can also make social or athletic event planning stressful. Even a casual overnight at your BFF's house can turn into a nightmare by having an unexpected period. I'm not one to just complain without offering up some solutions, so here are some ways that you can help your daughter manage her period and her period stress. The first thing, and I've already mentioned it, is period tracking. And I've heard from some moms that they cannot get their girls to track their periods. Maybe this is something that you can do with her, or if you are aware when she is starting, you can track it for her until she feels ready to take on the responsibility. And this is the easiest way to get comfortable with managing your period. You can do it super simple with just tracking it out on a paper calendar and predicting when your future period will start. Or you can use some of the apps that are available. There's a lot of free ones. And if you want to get super fancy, there is a new app that's available in the US now called Mitwina, and it takes period tracking to the next level. It is almost completely accurate on letting you know when your period is coming. I haven't been able to try it yet because it's not available in Turkey, but it is one of the first period products I'm going to try when I get back to the US. So I can give an update once I get a chance to use it. And I'll also leave a link below so you can check out their Instagram and their website. The next thing to do is always be period prepared. This is the way that I really manage my stress when it comes to having my period. I never leave home without a pad or other period management product with me. I have a few different bags that I use depending on where I'm going. Every single one of them has pads and tampons in it. And now with period panties, it's amazing. If you think maybe that you'll get your period, but you're not sure, you can always throw on a pair of period panties before you go out to a social event, or when you know that maybe it's not going to be convenient to keep a pad or something on you. And you probably know my favorite advice by now, but one way to really manage your daughter's period and periods in general is talking about it. If your daughter seems to be overly anxious about her periods, get help. Periods can trigger anxiety, which you already know they did for me, and getting help to proactively manage period fears can help reduce the strain on your daughter's mental health. Real Girl Puberty also has a special guide that'll help you prepare your anxious girl for her period, and that's something I'll also put a link into. Not every girl is anxious about her period. Maybe you just need some tips to help her track it. But if your girl is extra anxious, we definitely have something to help you out with it. And the last thing you can do is experiment with different period management products. The selection is overwhelming these days. I mean, I wish when I was first starting my period that they at least had pads with wings. I thought that was a game changer. But now they have the pads with wings in every shape and size. You have reusable, you have organic. Also, there's so many different varieties of period underwear. There's cups, there's discs. There's so many different products out there. So just experiment with them, see which ones you like, which brands work well for you, what type works well for you and your daughter, and keep track and keep notes from what you tried, what worked, where you bought it. So if it is something that you liked, it can easily get it again. What else should you know about periods? There are a lot of conversations we could have about periods, and of course we will. But to get you started, Real Girl Puberty magazine has 2 amazing issues that are dedicated to the topic. The first issue is all about first periods. In this issue, we get expert advice from pediatric gynecologists to answer your daughter's questions and concerns about getting and managing her first period. We also have a follow-up issue called Periods 2.0. The 2.0 issue helps you and your girl understand what's normal when it comes to periods and what to do when your period isn't normal. This is one of my favorite issues. I talked with a couple of really amazing health experts to bring you the most reliable information about periods. And I mean, I've had my period for, maybe 35 years by now? No, not quite that long, but over 30 years, I'll say. And I learned so much from the conversation I had with the gynecologist for this issue. I'll leave the links to those below so you can figure out how to get those and help your daughter, support her through managing her periods. And if you are still menstruating yourself, I think there will actually be something for you to learn in there too. Puberty. Yeah, we're going to talk about it.